Okay, continuing on, would you please talk about where that took you and how that informed you and how it changed you or in some way was able for you to rise from that and improve what you do, where you're going, who you are?
I have learned to pull back the layers a lot earlier, to pull back the layers of anything and everything. So I'm a street photographer, again, that requires no skill other than the skill I have. I didn't have to go to school to learn that. So I have learned to where do I want to be? What do I want to do? And what's my path to get there? Also, another reason why I pivot to your purpose coaching is important to me and will be a major part of my brand. We have to start with knowledge. People ask me all the time in terms of their own pivot. I think I'd like to be a model. I think I'd like to be an actor. Tell
Hmm.
me how I can get an agent. First question. Tell me how I can get an agent. I start with the same answer every single time because models and actors make it look easy. I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the ones you see in Vogue magazine and on TV. They make it look really easy. They walk down the runway in Fashion Week. I didn't know they practiced to do that until I took a runway class. Not because I'm going to be a runway model at 5'1", but it helps to inform your everything. So when I say the number one thing you start with is research, that's the biggest lesson I learned. I don't give you my agents' names. My agent would think I'm crazy if I handed over, Jane Doe's name. You
Hmm.
have to start with research. They say the same thing for their kids. I think my kid has a good voice and I want him to be on the radio. Can you tell me how to get on the radio? So I guess that is the crux of the answer. Everything starts with research, and that is how I have guided my life. Not perfect by any means. Sometimes you're just very talented at something, and you have the bona fides organically, and you can jump into something and be a great success. But I'm not gonna ride on that. So that is the biggest lesson, and every single thing that I've done since then in my career, my major career, my primary career rather, and in this second career, even with content creation. So I was an actor and model for years while I worked a regular job, worked my primary job, but it was on the side and a little bit, did not rely on money, and it was in a different market. I come to New York, it's a whole different kettle of fish. So I spent some time learning that. I'm still learning it. I'm 3 years in. Now, last year I added content creation. The I don't even know how to describe it. The amount of information that we don't know about content creation, about social media platforms, could fill this room, could fill your house. It's still very exciting to me, but just when you think you know this, it's like, oh no, there's this. Okay, wait a minute, there's this. I'm not daunted, and neither should anyone else be. But you do have to have that, what I told you about before, and that before we started this conversation on here,
Hmm.
self-awareness. You have to look yourself in the mirror. I'm not KaZ. Maybe KaZ can sing opera. I would love to sing opera, but maybe I can't sing opera. So anyway, self-awareness.
And I think that is so important, and it's important that you're sharing that information. So, is there anything else you'd like to add to this? I mean, I'm really excited. I'm genuinely excited about your pivot to your purpose brand because I it's very much in alignment with where this show has gone from the first couple of
Mhm,
episodes until now.
mhm.
And like I said, how disaster informed me is that what's truly in there that needs to get out. And for me, it's very much about how can I be of service?
Absolutely. And as a producer and journalist in at the Voice of America, which is government funded. I was a public servant, and my work, a lot of that was again public service, and you are getting messages across to people through other people's stories, and there's just no better feeling to know that I was a public servant. With regard to now, this has sort of launched from what people have been asking me, how did you pivot to become an actor model? How did you add content creation? How do I find my purpose? I'm about to retire and I don't know what I want to do.
Mm.
Um, Whether it's, as someone said, new husband or no husband, I don't know where to go. My husband died, or for whatever reason, we're not in love anymore. What do I do? How do I start that process? A friend of mine's husband just retired. He worked a job that kept him away from home for 14 hours. One Friday, he stopped. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of the following week, he had plenty to do. Clean out his car, start some projects in the house. By Thursday, he's like, okay, now what? So I hear that over and over and over again. I would like to be able to help people through my brand pivot to their purpose. And purpose doesn't necessarily mean my purpose for being on this earth. It could be your passion, it could be anything. I want to pivot to this slightly or in a huge way, but I don't have the confidence to do it. I don't know where to start. And where it starts is to evaluate, think about, analyze what brings you joy. What have you done that nobody paid you for the past 3 or 4 years that brought you joy? So
Oh,
I
yeah.
knit, for example. I don't knit, but this is what a friend said. I knit. Well, do you love it that much to study it some more, study the business of that, and hang out a shingle? The answer was no. Anyway, I know that people don't know what they want to do. And my experience was my husband was, like I said, an event and wedding photographer. And he thought that as I was doing more and more photography, that I should do photography as a business. It doesn't bring me that much joy.
Mm.
And I am not willing to invest in the learning that is required for that. I started taking photography classes, loved them, but not enough to continue.
Mm.
So I realized then that I'm a hobbyist photographer. So that's one of the biggest messages that I have for people. You think you want to be, you want to pivot to whatever your hobby is, but maybe you don't. What do you want to do? So peeling back those layers, and having conversations with people about that has led me to, again, this is my purpose right now, is to help other people find their joy and find what they might want to do with it. Maybe it's to travel. I want to, I've only seen Nebraska if I live in Nebraska. I'd like to see Machu Picchu. So let's ask some questions. Do you just want to see that once or twice, or do you really want to make a thing of this? Maybe Road Scholar, which is a wonderful program, is a great place for you to start traveling. But do you want to make it a lifetime thing? But because that resources are different. So just to pull back the layers and ask people what they really want to do and get to what they might pivot to in a big way. And if you arrive at that destination and realize, I don't really love this.
Yep.
Let me go over here and do this. This is perfectly fine. You don't beat yourself up. You keep it moving.
Yeah. I think that what you're doing is incredibly important. And please, everyone out there, find Diane Britt-Smith on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, and check out her Pivot to Your Purpose, because I guarantee she will have, just like she has here today, these nuggets, these gems, these diamonds, these pearls of wisdom that one of them will land for you. Diane, I love you to pieces. I'm so glad we're friends. I'm so grateful for you to be here to tell a story that you said you'd never told before. So that I really honor that. And yeah, I look forward to having you back again at some point with new information and new insights and new inspiration. So
Thank you so much. It's been great. I appreciate it and I look forward to coming back. Again, I wish you all the success in the world in copious amounts.
thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it very much. Woo! Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Everybody asks me, I do this on Zoom meetings. What is that? I said it's clapping in sign language. So yeah. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. As I said, when you can be so many other places and watch so many other podcasts, help keep this going by sharing most of all. Please share, share, share to family, friends, strangers, and then like and subscribe. And we will see you next time with more amazing guests. and more inspiring information. Take care. We'll see you soon.